Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into the incredible six-decade story of Santana, a band that didn't just play music, they literally forged a new global sound that you can still feel today.
And you know, at the very heart of it all is Carlos Santana's lifelong philosophy, this idea of the universal tone. It's this core belief that music is this spiritual force that connects every single one of us, that has been the band's guiding light through their entire wild journey.
So, we're going to follow their story through what is really a classic arc, right? You've got the meteoric rise, then the long years wandering in the wilderness, and then one of the most unbelievable rebirths in the entire history of music.
Okay, so where does a story like this even begin? Well, it's not with some born and bred rock star. Nope. It starts with the son of a mariachi violinist from Mexico whose entire young life was just this perfect fusion of cultures. You see, Carlos's early life was this incredible blend of sounds. He absorbed all these beautiful melodic ideas from his father's traditional Mexican music, and then he fused them with the raw power of American blues and rock and roll that he was hearing blasting from the radio. San Francisco, well, that was just the final ingredient, the perfect pot to stir it all together.
So by 1969, he'd put together this legendary classic lineup. And what made them so revolutionary? I mean, look at this. It wasn't just a rock band, it was a rhythmic powerhouse. You had two percussionists plus a drummer who had serious jazz chops. Together, they created this polyrhythmic engine that was totally unheard of in mainstream rock at the time.
Now, this band was already a sensation back in San Francisco. But believe me, the rest of the world had absolutely no clue what was about to hit them. Their entire career was literally about to change in a single afternoon.
Think about this. Before they walked on that stage at Woodstock in August of '69, Santana was a nobody to the national audience. They hadn't even released an album yet. They were a last-minute addition, booked by their manager, the legendary promoter Bill Graham.
And the performance itself? Oh, it is the stuff of absolute legend. Famously, Carlos was, let's just say, deep in the throes of a heavy mescaline trip, which he got from Jerry Garcia, of all people. He spent the entire set battling hallucinations, just wrestling with his guitar, and somehow delivered one of the most iconic performances of the entire festival.
I mean, this timeline just perfectly illustrates the insane speed of their rise. In just 2 weeks, 14 days, they went from being festival unknowns playing an afternoon slot to a worldwide phenomenon with a hit album screaming up the charts. Their lives would never, ever be the same.
But after 2 more #1 albums, the incredible pressure of that fame just caused the classic lineup to completely implode. And in the aftermath, Carlos made a really radical turn away from the mainstream, choosing to follow a much more spiritual and experimental path.
And wow, was this pivot dramatic. I mean, the band went from making these percussive, danceable, radio-friendly Latin rock hits to crafting these complex, meditative, almost entirely instrumental jazz fusion odysseys. It was an incredibly bold artistic choice.
And while this experimental phase was really respected by critics, and fellow musicians, it definitely cooled off their commercial momentum. You can see it right here in the numbers. The falling chart positions show you that fans, and probably the record executives, were pretty confused by this sudden swerve away from the hit-making formula.
So the next 2 decades, they were kind of a quiet period. The band really struggled to find its footing in a musical world that was changing so fast. First with disco, and then of course synth-pop.
Throughout the late '70s and '80s, Santana tried to adapt. They put out albums like Z-Bop and Freedom that had slicker production and more pop-friendly structures. But really, they were chasing trends, not setting them. And by 1992, their commercial decline was just stark. This chart says it all. Their album Milagro barely even scraped into the top 100. It's such a massive contrast that really highlights how far they'd fallen, and it perfectly sets the stage for what was about to happen next.
Yeah, their cultural relevance seemed pretty much stuck in the past. And here's the weird part. They were still a huge live act, consistently selling out big amphitheaters, but their new music just wasn't connecting at all. This was all kind of cemented by their 1998 induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, an honor that often feels more like a career capstone than a new beginning.
But then, a reunion with legendary record executive Clive Davis, the very same guy who signed them decades earlier, sparked what is, and I'm not exaggerating here, arguably the most dramatic reversal of fortune in the history of music.
The strategy was so simple, but it was absolutely brilliant. Pair Carlos's iconic, timeless guitar tone with the whole new generation of contemporary stars.
The idea was to reintroduce his sound to an audience that might never have heard it before.
And the result? Supernatural, an album that just completely defied all expectations. It won an astonishing 9 Grammy Awards in a single night, tying the all-time record held by Michael Jackson's Thriller. Think about that.
And the album wasn't just a critical darling, it was an absolute commercial juggernaut. It sold over 30 million copies worldwide, it hit #1 in 11 different countries, and it made Santana a global force all over again, honestly bigger than they had ever been before.
So after all the insane ups and all the downs, what is it? What is it about that one specific sound that has captivated listeners for more than half a century? What makes a single Santana note so instantly recognizable?
It's a tone so unique that people often call it crystalline. It has this unbelievable lyrical quality that lets the guitar speak with all the emotion and phrasing of a human voice. You just know it the second you hear it. There's no one else like it.
And listen, it's not just some kind of magic. It's a meticulously crafted combination of gear and technique. We're talking about using specific pickups, literally marking the exact spot on stage to get that perfect feedback. It is all designed for one thing, to create that signature, everlasting sustain.
So ultimately, Santana's legacy is so much bigger than just hit records. They literally created a new musical vocabulary. They formalized Latin rock as a genre and paved the way for countless incredible artists who fused traditional sounds with modern rock.
In the end, the story of Santana really isn't just about music. It leaves us with this powerful question about the very nature of artistic vision. It's really a testament to the idea that a true universal tone, well, it really can transcend time, trends, and entire generations.